Hello, beauties. Today we have our expert showcase today, and joining us is Shaki. Shaki, I'm still trying. And we are going to talk about, or rather, she is going to teach us about being a solopreneur and success systems within that. So let me just say welcome, Shaki, to
Thank
today.
you, Rachel. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to come down here today.
Yes. I'm very excited. So,
Me
a
too.
little bit of background for Shaki is she is a coach to solopreneurs, which you probably could have guessed by now. She is a professional growth hacker. Not sure what that means. You might have to fill us in on that one. And she is a business strategy consultant and the founder of Mind Dynamics, which is the sign that's behind her as well. And she has an amazing business that she has started up from the ground up in Mind Dynamics. And so, Sakshi, why don't you give us a little feel for what it is that you do and kind of tell us about some factors about being a solopreneur and how our success depends on what it is that we're doing.
Okay, thank you, Rachel, for such a wonderful introduction. And I'm glad that I am there today on this platform. So basically, what I have been doing and what others have been doing with me is very much related to developing their businesses. So I developed my business 2 years back. That was back in 2019 when I started Mind Dynamics. Rachel said, right, that's the sign just behind me. So that's our brand logo, and that's like my virtual office where I work from. So like this brand has been my identity when I started solo, like when I was alone. So I normally differentiate people as successful entrepreneurs, super entrepreneurs, and someone who is a solo entrepreneur. So like a person who starts working solo on a particular idea, takes that ahead, builds a brand, builds a team, grows it into a big company, then becomes an entrepreneur. And finally, if that company reaches new heights, then you become a super entrepreneur. So, this is something that is my definition of entrepreneurship. And fortunately, I have been able to take this definition from my life itself. So, it has been lovely after being a mother, taking a break from corporate world and jumping into the world of entrepreneurship. Obviously, it was not easy. Times were tough because my baby was just 5 months old when I thought of this whole thing, and when actually we started executing this whole concept. So the brand is all about online learning methods. We do individual trainings on through online platforms. We do lot of trainer community support for our fellow trainers from any part of the world. So we help them with designing, ebook creation. We help them with technological advances, anything that they want, any technical consultations, from consultations to getting their webinar set up. So everything we do for trainers, because I myself am one, so I understand what they go through. So that's my way of giving back to them. And then we also serve corporates where we develop portals for e-learning. So that's the third aspect of our company. Speaking about me myself, while I was on this journey of learning about training and coaching, I actually realized that a lot of solo entrepreneurs leave their business. So any businesses, any setup, any business setup, it requires some kind of funding or investments at a later stage. But
Mhm.
before that stage, normally we have seen that around 70 to 80% people quit from their business, and they either go back to their jobs or they do nothing. So it is not about their caliber. They already had their caliber. That's why that thought came into their minds. Otherwise, this wouldn't have happened. So if any one of you like watching right now, as if you're watching us, and if you have that little spark in your mind that this is my next idea to work on, whether it be your first business, second business, or your idea, even if you're not running a business right now, that's absolutely fine. I have been helping people even with the ideation process of the business. So that is also something that I have done, especially with moms. So most of them are either moms from my community, or there are people who are working on technical terms as freelancers. So what we do is we help them put the right idea at the right time to the right audience in the form of the best possible business model that is possible for their business. So we are aware, like, now it's almost 1 year that most of the businesses have shifted online. So physical businesses are suffering a lot, and that's the another way of doing business, that is digitally. So how you can reach your customers to their home via internet calls, I mean anything, parcels, anything that you can. So that's something that I believe in, that solo entrepreneurs can be the next, they can be winners. Okay, you never know. So things might come up in the best possible manner. So
So,
anyone who's solo person, don't feel that you are alone.
you're not alone. So for being a solopreneur, what are some things that are dependent? What do we need to make sure that we do for that success to happen?
Okay, so basically, there are many pointers when you are running your business solo. So you have lot of responsibilities on your shoulders, because you become the ideation point of your business, you become the operational point of your business, you become the manufacturer sometimes if you are manufacturing, like, creating some products. So you can be anything. So you can't say on particular terms that I will do only this because I am an entrepreneur. So many times people come up with a mindset that, when I am starting my business, I am the boss. Well, let me be very frank with you guys. When you are a boss, you have to sometimes be a janitor too. So that's the whole situation, that's the reality, and you need to accept it. This is something that I learned from my father. Like, my father used to say that, always a farmer, when he knows that he has to sow a good yield, then he has to first dig holes to sow that seed. So until and unless you don't dig your holes yourself, you will not be able to fill them, and you will not be able to sow fruits or trees or something out of it. Okay, so
Mhm.
I mean, what I mean to say is, you don't get results if you don't sow seeds. So that's the main thing, and that's something that I learned from my father, and I still continue that learning today, that whatever it takes, if I have to sit down and create a list of 2000 people today just because my assistant is on leave, I will have to do that because it's my business. So
Mhm.
that's the point where ownership comes. So the first thing for a successful model to run is that you have to take the ownership. If you are an entrepreneur, you can't expect that if my team is not working, I'll blame it to my team. Maybe they are not working because they don't understand what you want to deliver to, like, what you are thinking. So if you are not able to put your thoughts right way to your team, whether you have 5 people or 100 people, that doesn't makes any difference. So that's the harsh reality of entrepreneurship. You need to take that ownership if you want to run your business successfully. So whether
Right?
you are solo, whether you have multinational companies, you have to take the ownership.
Yes. And it's so different from having a 9 to 5 to say that, you work for someone and they have the expectations and they are telling you what it is that you need to do, to move into being your own boss and running everything, right? You don't have people doing it for you right away. And so you're running it by yourself. So you have to be like, you're that go-to and you do it all. So if business, an online business is something that you truly want, you need to understand, is what I'm hearing, that you are the boss, and anyone that you bring in along the way, you need to be very mindful that, for instance, if something isn't going quite the way you want it to, it's a matter of, you need to check in and you have to take the responsibility on yourself to make sure that everyone understands and everything is flowing, because now that's your job.
Right, exactly, Rachel. So, so the first thing, that's very clear, that's ownership. The second thing that normally people think is, when they start their business, this is for someone, like, if you are already having one business and thinking of starting another, or like if you're just thinking of starting one. So, if anyone is if anyone is thinking of starting a business, or if you are giving ideas to someone, that while you're working 9 to 5, it's better go start your own business. So if you're giving that idea to someone, do tell them the hardships too. Okay, because if people are asking you, they look up to you as a mentor at that particular time. So it's very much necessary that you guide them in the best possible manner. Guide anyone, be it yourself, be it your friends, be it your relatives, anyone. So the next thing, after you have a right mindset to start a business with, the next thing is to have the right idea. So many times we have seen that people try to copy each other's idea, and suddenly they feel ki acha, like if her idea is going well, then mine will also run the same way. Well,
Right.
we don't see that if a person is running an idea, maybe he must have run through it along, like past 5-10 years, and then he has reached this stage. So
Mm-hmm.
what mistake we do is we just see people like running behind being successful, and we start running behind their success,
Yeah.
forgetting ours. So as a solo entrepreneur, I mean, even if you are an entrepreneur of a big company, I mean, even if you are CEO of a big company, the main thing that you need to keep in mind is what goal you are achieving at the present day, week, and month, because these are the three steps that you move ahead with. So if you are achieving something in a particular day, if you are achieving something in a particular week, if you are achieving something in a particular month, then in that case you are damn sure to achieve something great in the next 1 2 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
When, that no one knows, because you have to hit that at the right time. I'll come to that right time point later. But right now, like, what the thing that you need to tell yourself is that don't think entrepreneurship as something what people have told you about. What people have told you, that entrepreneurship is like being a boss, and once you just need some investments, and you just invest and then go with the flow. Many of them, they end up taking loans, they end up in heavy debts. Okay, and then after 2 years they end up even closing down their business.
Mm.
So don't do this mistake. If you want to run a successful model, for the first 2 years run it with your own money. Ensure that you have the own money to start your business, to start your venture, and limit your budgets. Limit your budget. Don't limit out that I'll use this technology also, I'll use this resource also, I'll employ 50 people. If you don't need 50 people for the first 4 months, don't employ them. Why are you employing them? So that's the
Mm-hmm.
point. So budget planning is another thing that is very, very important when you are running a business solo, because then you are the sole person who is deciding how to spend your budget. And sometimes it is your savings. So for my story, they were my savings that I spent to develop the whole system. So the system that stands behind today is because my savings were there. If I didn't have the savings, then maybe I wouldn't have taken another chance of taking that heavy debt and starting something which is not which couldn't be seen in the future. So we developed because we started working towards it, and we started working in a controlled manner. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't go as a outbound thing that we need to do everything that's happening in the world. No, you need to have your specialty, so you cannot do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
that's one thing.
And it's very important for us to remember that when we see other people and we see their success, we, like you said, we don't know where they are in their journey. They could have consulting experience from a past job that they had or something like that. And so to step in and try to do it their way is not necessarily, and it's not a model that will necessarily work for you. But also, if you want to have that speciality, you want to have something that is going to be like your baby, not someone else's that you're trying to
Right.
identify with.
Yeah,
So,
that's absolutely right, Rachel. I mean, I really agree with your thoughts.
so what happens? What do we need to think about with our businesses in times of crisis? What
Yeah.
is,
So
go for it.
okay. So basically, in times of crisis, so I'll just share another personal experience of mine, because this is something that I have been through. We were into physical training events when we started our company at the first point, and we were only doing physical trainings, none of the online. Although online parts was a thing that needs to come in future, but as I said, that I don't spend money as and when. So we used a controlled method to grow a company. And since the research was already being done on the online platform thing, we thought by the time this whole thing gets set up, it's the time that we explore physical events too. So we had two ways. Number one, online event. Number two was physical events too, because we were getting contracts with respect to that. Now we had 3 contracts to be done in the month of April last year. And when the lockdown stage hit in India, that was March last week in 2020. And when that thing happened, we had already, circulated advertisements, we had circulated flyers, we had circulated a lot of things, we had booked conference rooms, all the bookings were done. And
Mm.
suddenly, when this whole lockdown phase came and people realized that, this whole thing is not working, we are not allowed to, even stand 5 people in a group. So
Yeah.
we understood that physical model is not running, and everyone from our clientele, they started asking to give the money back. Now, since these were some esteemed companies in India, I really didn't want to, to say boldly that, I'll not give your money back, do whatever you want to. So we had
Mhm.
to return that money. Now, when we returned our cash reserved and when we had already spent a lot into other services, it was
Mhm.
like a boom, because like, everything, the revenue that we had, with respect to few thousand, if you say dollars, that had suddenly come to zero, and
Mm.
we were in negative because we had to expense our savings. We have to really give out our savings to give salaries to the people who are working with us.
Mhm.
So finally, like, this is whole thing that can happen in crisis. Everything gets tumbled up and down. So if you are in a time of crisis where you feel that, these things are not working, and suddenly some situation has changed, so number one, I'll just give you 3 pointers. Number
Okay.
one, analyze the situation. Okay, what's the situation and what your customer is in, like what situation your customer is in. So we saw that our customers are unable to take physical events. Okay. Number two now, how to reach that customer back again and deliver that something that offers solution to their problem.
Yeah.
So we gave them a solution to their problem, saying that we are turning your whole training module into your own company module where all your company trainings can go online. So that was something that we helped them with. So a second thing is like, to give solution to your clients. So first see who your clients are, what situation are they in at the time of crisis, what situation they are in. Don't check your situation, because anyhow your situation will improve once they start giving deals to you or once
Mm.
they start purchasing your products. So see what they need and then deliver solution based on their needs.
Yeah.
Third thing is deliver something that adds value to them, because at the time of crisis the amount of purchase has become limited. So people will only purchase few things, or they will only sign deals with you only if they feel that there is something substantial that will help them to grow, okay,
Yeah.
as corporates or as individuals. So if they feel that these things are really helpful for them at that particular time, only then they will end up signing a deal with you, or buying your products or services, whatever they are. So these are the 3 things that you need to take care in crisis, and like the target should be your customer and not you. So you
Mhm.
need to switch your products, you need to switch your workflows, you need to upskill your employees, you need to train them that this is the new technology that we will be using to deliver the new products. This is the kind of system that we will be using. So you need to tell them everything minutely, so you have to do a lot of groundwork first at your level, and then approach the customer that this is your problem, I know it, this is the solution, I am ready to give it. So when should we meet? So that it's like as simple as this.
Yes. So then, as you're doing this, because we do the same thing when we get started, as we figure out, what is it that we do well, what is that solution that we can provide, and how we go through the steps in order to provide that for our clients. So when we move into that knowledge of going into from our crisis mode and into success, what are some things that we need to do to ensure that we will be successful?
Okay, so basically, if you see that while we are moving towards crisis, or like, while we are moving through crisis as a company owner, there are 2 responsibilities that I have. That if I am a owner of a company which has certain amount of clients, I need to see that they remain with me and they don't get disconnected. the only way to engage your current clients is to introduce small services. Like, they can be a small ticket service, like that can cost you more, but the client less, those kind of services, but at least the client is connected to you. So first
Hmm.
thing is, like, as I've told earlier also, that you need to see the pain points of your customers. What are the pain points that your customers have or your clients have? So you need to channelize them and keep them connected to you. Second thing is, you need to upgrade your inventories. So maybe the product that you were selling, or maybe the service that you were selling earlier, is not apt for the current situation. Like the example that I took, we were selling physical training programs that were not at all possible during COVID, and we switched to online training platforms. Same thing happened with food and drink industries, beverage industries, where they were not able to sell in physical stores. They started home delivery of many
Hmm.
items. So that is like, everyone became Amazon or everyone became Flipkart. So that's how people started moving on innovating their businesses. So you need to re-ideate. So that's where I deal with a lot of sessions nowadays with people, where we re-ideate their current businesses. Because after certain periods, we feel that, the same clients, the same services, nothing is improving. Okay, and maybe after, like, the same services, how can you give client the same services for so many long years? You have to change it, you have to
Hmm.
re-ideate. So that is another point that you need to keep in mind. Third thing is to upskill your employees. So if you feel that this is a particular technology that I need to do, first you learn it. As, like, especially if you are a solo person, obviously you will have to do it. Like, if you are using a certain platform, if you are using a certain technology, if you are using some chatbots, whatever you are using, email systems, whatever you are using,
Yeah.
you need to know it first before giving it to a vendor or before giving it to your employee. That,
Hmm.
I have the knowledge, and that is why I am delegating the work to you. So that authority you should have. So you need to spend time in upskilling yourself first, and then ensure that you upskill your employees. Because if employees are not upskilled, they will not understand how to handle the sales. So then
Yeah.
sales will not happen, because at the end point they are going and selling. You cannot go to every point and sell your product. At some points you can go, like, at various platforms I go myself, but sometimes I have to leave things on email systems, I have to leave things on websites, I have to leave things on ads going around. So those are the different mediums that we choose, where we personally are not there. So we need to ensure that same essence get carried on, like the same essence get carried on what we thought of it. So these
Mhm.
are the three things, like, that can help you turn your sleeping business to a very, energetic one.
Yeah, I like how you said, we help people figure out solutions to what their problems are. But like you said, once you have that solution, we want those clients to stay with us. And so when you move them into the next kind of realm of your services, that increases what you're doing or changes what you're doing a little bit so that it melds or molds to what their current needs are, not just the needs that they had because you've already helped them with that problem. So now it's time to move on to the next thing. Am I understanding you correctly?
Hello, I
Yes?
am not getting your voice.
Hello?
Yeah, now it's clear.
Okay. Did you hear what I said at all?
I think I missed on the last sentence.
I was asking if I was understanding you correctly.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, as I said, re-ideation is the process or innovation, bringing innovation into your system, bringing innovation in the way that you're working. So once you start improvising your work styles, improvising your skills, improvising your functions and products and services, then definitely, like, that becomes a success story for you. And once you're successful at one ladder, then you take another step, then again you repeat the same process. So it's a process that is repeated again and again.
Yes. Excellent. Well, this is very, very good information, especially when you are moving into that element, going from being your own boss and moving into creating that team atmosphere and hiring people to be able to help you so that you don't have to do all of it by yourself. And then you kind of become a different sort of a boss, not just of yourself, but of others as well. So that's very helpful and useful information. So
Thank you. I really hope like everyone will get some insights from this. So do let us know in the comments, like what actually excited you during the whole conversation. And the conversations are everlasting, so we'll continue it.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. So is there anything else that you want to share about being a solopreneur and having success, having those systems in place and being able to utilize those? And then after that, or if you're ready, tell us about what it is that you have going on as far as what people can get into if they are interested in working with you.
So basically, my solopreneur success has been through a journey of these 2 years where I have learned a lot. So the first mindset, that we need to have is about learning. That's something that I have realized. Although I was a avid learner back days also, but then I could realize that I need to learn more. So I cannot stop here. So having someone who can make you accountable for the work that you are doing is very important, and that's
Yeah.
something when I learned when I had mentors from Canada, I had mentors from India who actually mentored down, and still I have mentors. So normally whenever I start my session, I really thank them in front of the whole audience, saying that I am really thankful to my mentors because they held my hand, they believed in me that yes, you can do it, just go ahead, do it, kind of thing. So sometimes it just happens, that there's no one to support you, and you just need a pat on the back saying that just do it, we are there. So that kind of a thing comes when people are there to take you with them. They say that we know whatever you are doing is right, and we are there to help you, and you
Mhm.
just move ahead. So that has been my journey with my mentors. It still continues today. I have been being mentored by three of the mentors in different areas of my life, in business,
Mhm.
in presentation, and in my personal life as well. So there are 3 to 4 different mentors that I truly believe in. So I would say mentorship, or being coached by someone, being trained by someone, is something that helps you. Okay.
Yes.
And normally, people they misunderstand a few things between training, coaching, mentoring. So if you see training, it's more kind of an informational thing that gets that is being given to you. So whenever you go to a trainer, go with a mindset that he will give you only information because he's a trainer. Okay, he'll
Mhm.
not be able to hold your hand and walk with you. But if you're going to a coach, then you know that this person is the right person, or I mean, right or wrong, that's for you to decide. But I mean, if you're going to coach, then you can say that this person will help me to
Mhm.
handhold me and then take me ahead. So go with that particular mindset. I've seen people who waste a lot of their amount, their money, their energy, everything into specific things, saying that I have not been uh, I'm sorry. So that I have not been able to get a result out of like whatever mentoring sessions I have or whatever I learned. That's because you entered with a different mindset and the trainer had a different mindset. So whenever you're going to someone for taking mentorship, or trying to learn something from someone, obviously we need mentors in our life. So whenever you're going to someone, always ensure that you are going with the right mindset, and you are explaining that thing to the person also, that this is the mindset that I have, this is the result that I'm looking for. So
Yeah.
how you will be able to help me, question them. So same thing happens with me when I take trainers with me. I always say that you need to have a learning mindset. There are systems that change every 3 months in my company, because I am running an online development company. So I cannot say I'm not using this technology just uh, because you don't know it. So you need to learn it. So learning attitude is very important.
Yeah.
Second thing, like how, as you said, how people can be associated with me. So getting associated with me is very simple. You type Sakshi Chaitanya on Google and you will get lot of links where you can connect on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Apart from that, if you really want to come into my closed community, there is a closed community on Telegram that we have exclusively for solo entrepreneurs, where we do post a lot of materials there, and we do a lot of networking activities there. So that's also something that happens there. A lot of cross selling happens. Everyone is happy, and I feel happy as well. If they get help in a certain manner. So that's something that we do in our closed communities. Apart from that, we have workshops from time to time that gets updated on our company website. That's minddynamics.in. So you just need to check minddynamics.in and you will land up to our website where you will see a lot of workshops, whatever per month, like different workshops we have, so that you can see, you can check that around. If you want to be coached by me, or like, by our team, if you want a support by our team, if you want us to be your support system, then we have a program called Solopreneur Infusion, where we handhold you through your business processes. So there is a lot of thing that happens there: learning, experimentation, analytics, result and feedback, and then again going back to learning. So this is how that we do month on month. We work on your brand, we work on negotiation, we work on fixing sales, we work on fixing your budgets, we work on advertising, management, marketing, everything. So one month by month, we start clearing your processes from zero. So first we see
Mhm.
branding, then we move ahead to your product and inventory. So this is how we move, month on month. So
Yeah.
every we have a group of 4 or 5 people if they are from the same industry, or we have individualized trainings. So both the ways it's very much possible. So I think Rachel can put down the links in the comment, and then you guys can just go through that one particular link and you will get through everything. There's a lot of support that we give to trainers as well. I coach trainers sometimes, on request. I've done that, although that's not my field, but since I have got some requests, so even I have done that. I do help. I consult them. So, and the best part is, that I also take only consultation session. So, like, one consultation session with respect to your organization. So that's what we do. We help you with budget planning as well. I have financial experts with me. So we sit down with your budgets and we help you to plan your budgets or inventories or whatever it is. So these are, like, various ways where we are helping people grow. So I hope you could get a lot of insights into, like, how we have been working and how you can work with us. So if you feel that this was helpful to you, and if you would feel that you want to connect, then you're welcome.
Yes, and I will most definitely put the links to all of it's one link that will allow you to access everything that you need that
Yeah.
that Sakshi is able to provide, and her team are able to provide for you. Well, thank you so much for being on our showcase today as the expert. You are most definitely the expert in your field, and also this Mind Dynamics that you founded and have done such a wonderful job of running it and bringing in your own clients, or not clients necessarily, your own employees over time as well. So you have done a great job of growing.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. So it has been an honor being here today. I mean, sharing a lot of things with a lot of people here on your platform. So it has been nice. Thank you.
Yes, and if anyone has any questions, just throw them into the comments, and Sakshi will be able to answer those for you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for jumping on here with us. And ladies of the group, we will see you the next time that we have our expert showcase. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye. Have a great day.